your whole life you've been lied to. And, that's very broad, and we've been lied to in a lot of different ways, whether it's from the education system, colleges, jobs, relationships, whatever it may be. But in this video specifically, I want to harp on how you've been lied to and you were told that if you work hard enough, you just work hard, you'll become successful. Right? People told you that if you just worked hard enough, you'd make it. That success was just about putting in the hours, grinding it out, and wanting it bad enough. But here's the truth, guys, that no one wants to say out loud. Hard work does not equal success. Sure, to be successful, do you have to work hard? Yeah, you do. But it doesn't guarantee anything. There are people working 14-hour shifts who are still broke. The people who work 14 hours as a dishwasher at a Mexican restaurant and all day they're scrubbing plates, I'd argue they work pretty hard. Right? The people that are outside, entry-level landscapers, entry-level concrete layers who are laying concrete every day, right? They work pretty damn hard in my opinion, right? Are they the richest people out there? No. So hard work alone doesn't guarantee anything. And there are people maybe listening to this right now or just out there in general that are burning out in jobs that they hate. They're doing everything right. They're clocking in. They're doing what they were told, what they were taught, and what they were trained, and still getting nowhere. And that's frustrating. I understand. I've been there. I still am there to some extent, right? But in this video, I want to show you why success is more about leverage than labor, and how the vehicle you choose matters more than just the actual hustle you put in, right? Think of it like a race. Hard work is your running speed. I was never into cross country. I hate running long distance, but I did a little bit of track, a little bit of sprinting type stuff, and I still like doing sprints actually to this day. But think of it like a race, right? Hard work is your running speed overall, but the vehicle you choose is the game changer, right? You could run as hard as you want, but if someone else is driving a car, or better yet, freaking flying a plane, they're going to beat you with half the effort. So it's not just about how hard you push, but it's about what you're pushing. So people get it kind of twisted here in society. You see a lot of, hard work, guru type stuff on the internet. And like I said, that's totally good. Like I think working hard, and everyone should work as hard as they can, right? But my point is, working hard feels good. You get dopamine from it, but it doesn't always produce results, right? You can go out there and, let's say you work in sales. Let's say you make 100 calls in a day, but a lot of those numbers are bad. A lot of them aren't going to answer anyway. A lot of them might not even be good fits for the product, but you're just calling them anyway because you're going to be at the top of the leaderboards, right? You might be working hard, but is that really intentional work? Is that really the best vehicle? What if you had better data? What if you had better numbers? What if you had a more efficient dialer? What if you could call those numbers in half the time? Better yet, call double those numbers in the same amount of time, right? Or what if you want to start a lawn care or landscaping company? Should you cut the lawns of the smallest houses in the area that are paying $20-$30, or should you do high ticket, large scale landscape installs where you can sell stuff for $5,000-$7,000 and scale that out, right? Those might be the same vehicle, but there's still two completely different, sides of the same coin. And like I said, working hard feels good, but it doesn't always produce results. Leverage, stuff like tools, technology, people, positioning, building systems in place, that is what's going to multiply your effort. So without it, you're just rowing a boat with your bare hands while others are going to be sailing past you. And everyone knows Warren Buffett, legendary investor. I'm pretty sure he's a very large investor in Coca-Cola, but he has a very famous quote that I remember hearing a long time ago. And he said something along the lines of you could have been the hardest working person in the 1800s, but still not end up rich. The key isn't just effort, it's being in the right vehicle, right? So what did Warren Buffett mean when he said this? Buffett's whole point in saying this is it's not about how fast you run, but it's about what track you're on. You ever go to an airport, right? And in the middle of the airport, they have those things where you walk, but it also moves. So you're walking super, super fast and it's taking you down the entirety of the airport. That's exactly what I'm saying. You could have two people walking at the same speed, but if one person's on the right vehicle, on the escalator or on the track that's moving, they're going to run circles around you, right? Business, investing, tech, content, stuff like this that I'm doing right now, these are more high leverage vehicles, right? You can reach more people. You can reach a bigger audience. There's nothing wrong with old school type of businesses. Matter of fact, I actually think old school type of businesses are making a comeback. But at the end of the day, you should still leverage things like, social media, content, lead gen, sales, investing, and technology, AI even, to help scale that and make your life easier, right? If you're trying to start a small business, you should not be the person that's doing every single aspect of that business. You need to delegate. You need to build leverage to yourself. What's the difference between you and Elon Musk? You might work just as hard as Elon Musk, quite frankly. I mean, he still does work pretty damn hard. I'm not going to say he doesn't. But the difference is he has leverage. He has teams and experts under him, right? And most people spend their lives in the wrong vehicle because they were taught to just work hard and stay loyal. They were just taught just work hard and you'll be successful. I heard that all the time growing up, man. I heard that all the time. And I think it's important to realize that you were lied to some extent. I don't think it was an intentional lie by our parents. I don't think it was an intentional lie necessarily by the teachers. A lot of the teachers are just regurgitating the same stuff they were taught. But the fact of the reality is that the vehicle does matter. What track you on does matter. And your work ethic isn't the problem necessarily. I mean, if you're someone that's lazy and you're not working hard, then, it could be the problem for sure. But what I'm saying is you have to be willing to pivot, right? You have to be willing to pivot and change directions, not quit, but just pivot and adapt to trends, especially with, this huge push ever since, I would say, after 2020 to, remote stuff, high ticket sales, AI, content creation, marketing, lead gen, agency, SMMA, like all these type of things. There's good and bad in all of them, but the point I'm making is, like, you have to be able to pivot and use certain aspects of things if it can benefit you. So I'll give you an example. If you were a restaurant, right, there's a really big software company, I believe they're called Toast. And they're like a POS system for restaurants, and they're very successful. Like, they've taken over the restaurant space like a lot. But my point is, like, if you were running a small restaurant and you're still not using a POS system in 2025, like, you're still not using something to track like your profit and loss, track like, like what entrees sell the best, and like, what drinks sell the best, what the price of this is, your average sales on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like, if you're not tracking that with some type of system, like, you are definitely behind. Like, if you're still using pen and paper with that stuff, you're definitely behind. And you have to be willing to pivot. You have to be willing to get on a different track or use certain tools to help, alleviate some of the pressure of just being you, right? And quite frankly, that's why a lot of people shift into entrepreneurship, right? Because they see a better vehicle and they decide to drive, right? They decide to drive themselves, not just pedal. And my experience with this, I've told this story before, but I personally made a pivot to something, in my opinion, which is a better vehicle, which is more like that content creation and high ticket sales environment. And I personally am very happy with the decision I made. But regardless of what you guys do, and I'm happy to make more videos on that as well if any of you guys want to learn more, or talk personally to you guys about it. But my advice to you guys would be, whatever you want to do, whether it's still some type of physical or some type of, even if you want to stay in the same job you're at, think of ways to pivot, think of ways to make your life better and be more efficient in your role. Because guys, like, with the AI technology out there are so many tools to make your life easier. There are so many tools to, make the vehicle better for you. Maybe the vehicle you're in right now has a flat tire, maybe has an oil leak, whatever. Like, there are many AI tools out there that can give you that oil change, put on a new tire, and make that thing drive faster, for sure. And it's out there. And the thing I want to say too at the end of this video is, if you made it this far, is I'm not saying that hard work isn't important. It is. Hard work matters a lot, but hard work in the wrong direction is just digging a deeper hole, right? It's kind of like, Minecraft, for instance. It's like, if you're going to dig down into the world, at least be looking for diamonds. Like, if you know where diamonds are, like, you should at least be digging towards the diamonds, right? So if you're feeling stuck, it's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's probably because you're trying hard in a vehicle that was never meant to take you where you want to go. Once again, I have videos talking about this as well, but if you know where you want to go, which you should, you got to think about the vehicle that's going to get you there. Success comes when you combine effort with strategy, right? Level up strategy. That's what this channel is about. You have to think of the strategy and reverse engineer it. Sweat with leverage. Hustle with a vehicle that scales long term. So let me ask you this. What vehicle are you guys in right now? What job or career path are you guys in right now? Are you wanting to make a switch? Are you happy with where they're at? Right? Drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to engage and help with whatever I can. I'd like to help you guys to the best of my ability. I by no means know everything, right? Definitely don't, but I will help in any way I can, and I try to respond to all the comments I get. And if nothing changed in the next 5 years from now, would you still be proud of where it took you? Right? Drop your answer in the comments below. I want to hear where you're at, what vehicle you're in currently, and what you're building towards. Your story might help someone else wake up too.